Okay, here in my Houdini, I'm showing you a simple character rig. Okay, using this rig, you can do IK arm movement, including the IK wrist control and the arm twist elbow control. And also you can do the IK leg with knee twist controls. And for the arm and legs, you can also do IK to FK blending. And now I have switched left leg to FK. So now you can rotate the hip joint. You can also rotate the knee joint. And of course, ankle joint and ball joint. And for the arm, you can also switch to FK so that you can rotate the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. For the torso, currently it only supports FK controls, so you can rotate the spine joints, the neck joints, and also the head. Please note that this is a quick setup. I haven't painted the skin weight yet. You can also control the clavicle. Okay. Of course, when you come to the hand, you have all the controls to control the rotation of all the fingers, including the thumb, this joint, and this joint. Okay, you can use the control to rotate them interactively in the viewport. You can also use the channels here, rotation channels here, to control the rotation by keying in the numbers. Okay. So I will just simply demo a couple of joints to show you that it's actually working. And you have also pelvic control. Okay, let me switch the left leg to IK so that more clearly you can see that you can have the pelvis control. Then let's take a look at how to set up your skeleton and how to tweak your skeleton to fit to your character, and then how to orient the joints, mirror the joints, and then you can start to do the skinning. And eventually I will show you also how to paint skin weight, right, to drive the character. Okay, so let's get started. So let's start from a new scene. Let's drop a geometry node first. Okay, and name it human rig example. Let's go inside the geometry node and drop down a test geometry template body. Okay, so this is a built-in character that we can use this as a demo. All right, for this character, first thing, let's drop a color node. I would like to select some of the primitives and then change the color to black, just to let it wear some clothes. Okay, when this is ready, we can put this into a network box to organize our network nicely. So this is the character model. All right, when this is ready, we are good to go with the skeleton. All right, in order for our human rig embedded assets to work, I provided this initial skeleton for you to use. Okay, so you need to install the 3 digital assets. Okay, you can find them on allbolt.com. You can download them from the website, and once you download, you put it into a folder. Then you can select 3 of them. Okay, then accept. Just now we selected 3 files, but these 3 files contains a few more assets in them. So let's install them. After we install the digital assets, let's create the initial skeleton. Okay, let's template display the character and display the skeleton. Alright, you can find that the skeleton is fitting the character quite well. That's because I built this initial skeleton based on this template body. Alright, but if you have a different character, then you might need to connect another skeleton node. Then you can start to modify the skeleton to fit your character. You can move the joint to say to fit your character if your character is not in the T pose or something. Alright, so you can do that. Okay, but for me, I will ignore this step because this initial skeleton is already working well for this character. This node, you can name it customize your own skeleton. Alright, so this could be your customization or your own skeleton. Then after that, because you might have moved some of the joints, then you need to orient those joints. Okay, and this asset is also downloaded and installed to this Houdini scene just now, and this can do a little bit more than the Houdini orient joints node, reorient joint node, because here I also focus on the arms and legs, so that after you have oriented those, okay, you can put down a rig pose node to take a look at the orientation of the joints. Okay, for this node, I make sure that for the arm, these 3 joints, x-axis will be perpendicular to the plane, and which the 3 joints are located in, right, and so on. All right, not only just point the z-axis to the children node. Okay. Okay. And after you connected these orient joints, which doesn't have any parameter, all right, and hopefully the orientation of the joints should be working. And then we can mirror the joints. You can type skeleton mirror. All right, skeleton mirror. Please note, for skeleton mirror, you need to specify what are the joints that you want to mirror. So definitely you don't want to mirror any central joints because they should be unique. All right. So here I'm going to use expression saying that for all the joints that started, whose name started with L underscore, I will mirror those. After the mirroring, you need to rename those joints as well in order for the rig tool to work. So because I named those joints follow the naming convention of all this L, C, and R is at the very beginning of the name. Okay. So that we will be using the token position start, and then we will be replacing those L underscore with R underscore while you're mirroring. Okay, so two things to do. One is here, the other thing is these two tokens. Okay, after that, your character's skeleton should be ready to rig. Then we can just drop down human rig embedded, which is our main auto rig digital asset. Okay, and this rig node will be looking at the naming of the joints and set up the rig accordingly. All right. All right. So that is the rigging. All right. Here you already can start to play with the rig. I think it's working now. So you can see that the IK arm and the IK legs are working. So that's good. And let's reset all the settings. Okay. Because now we need to do the skin binding. In Houdini, we call it capturing. Insert a null node here. Name it out skeleton. Okay. So what I'm doing here in this network box is for creating skeleton. All right, I can give a random color here. And for this part, right, it's better to connect a null node as well. So this will be our out geo. This is the skin geometry. This is the skeleton. Okay. So to do the capturing and binding, we need to create a bone capture line node. All right, after we have done this, we need to drop a tet embedded. This is to create a tetrahedral representation of the geometry. So you can see that the first input need to be the geometry. The second input will be the additional curves, which is this one. Let's cook it. It might take a while to build the tetrahedral geometry. Right, you can see that this is like that. Our original geometry is inside. Okay. All right, then let's drop a Biharmonic capture, and we need to connect the geometry to the first input. The second is the tetrahedral representation. Okay. Now let's cook this Biharmonic node. All right. I think the capture task is done. Okay, you can organize this 3 nodes into a network box, and let's name it capture. Give a color. Okay, and also we can just put this human rig embedded node into a network box as well. Okay, let's name it rigging. Okay, give a color. So once your capture and the rigging is done, we can use the bone deform node to deform the geometry. Okay, so the bone deform node takes 3 inputs. Number 1 is the geometry to deform. All right, yeah, that's the captured geometry. Second input is the rest point transforms. That means the default skeleton shape. And the third one would be the deform point transforms, means the one that being animated. All right, so once you connect all the 3 to here, pretty much we have done everything. Let's drop a null node to complete the whole setup. All right, how to test this rig? We need to select the human rig embedded node and click show handle icon, or move your cursor to the viewport and press enter. Okay, let me change the background to be dark so that we can see our handles clearly. All right, yeah. Okay, so again, you can select the human rig embedded node, and when you show the handle, you should be able to see all the handles are shown here. So now you can try to move your cursor to any of the control, and that will show you what is it. And what is it? This is the wrist joint. So you click, right, and you can basically move it. Also, you can rotate it. Okay, and also let me turn off the template display of the original geometry so that we don't see double geometry. All right, and now we can continue test our rig here. So the wrist can be moved, and the IK can be stretchy, and the elbow twist and control the twisting of the arm. Okay, and also we can go to the parameters and look at the left arm, change it to FK. All right, from the FK, of course, we then can rotate all the joints that we need. All right, let's test the foot. Let's go to the legs tab here. The left leg here, if you do the roll, you may see that the pivot point for the rotation is around this corner of this long cuboid here. All right, so how to change that? You have this offset. You can offset the heel marker Alright, so let's go change the row back to 0, and then let's move the a little bit the cuboid a little bit towards the back, about -2.06. Now if you do the row, and then the pivot point will be located at the new location here. Okay. Other than the row control, you also have an individual heel lift, ball lift, and toe lift. And of course, you can also do the heel pivot rotation, the ball pivot rotation, and the toe pivot rotation. Okay. All right. That's the one more thing. I forgot to mention that for the leg, you can also switch to FK. For the arms, if you go to left arm, you can see there is a checkbox to toggle the local space on and off. Okay, so let me show you what is this for. Alright, so for example, if you are animating the wrist, so that is having a IK movement. Right, for example, frame 1 is here. Okay, you can keyframe, and the frame 24 is here. For example, is here. Yeah. Then you have this animation. Alright. And if you turn on the local disk space, that means that the IK will follow the shoulder. Okay, your animation will be relative to the shoulder. Say for example here, if you bend the torso at different poses, then the hand movement will be calculated differently. Alright, but if you turn off the local space, which is by default, then the arm will be follow the world position. So bending the torso will not affect the wrist location and animation. Okay, so if the torso is bending this way, the hand movement is like this. If you bend the torso like this, the hand movement still like that. Let me revert it to default. Alright, let's test the cog, which is the center of gravity joint. Okay, if you select that joint, you should be able to move. Okay, so you move the cog, which will move the whole torso, and the head and the pelvis. By the hand, the wrists and the ankles are fixed. And also you can rotate. Alright. Then of course you can also rotate the pelvis. Okay, you can rotate the clavicle. You can also control the FK of the spine, the neck, and the head. Alright, when you rotate the head, because we haven't painted the capture weight, so the head will looks like deformed, which is very wrong. Okay, so where should we paint those with a capture weight? Of course, we need to go to this capture area. Then we can put down one capture capture layer paint. All right, when you use this paint node, please note that you need to specify skeleton. Okay, and here I'm going to paint the C underscore head underscore joint. And when you select that capture region, the whole body seems like still looks like color rainbowed. That's because you need to visualize the selected capture region only. Then you can see this rainbow color from red to purple. Okay, the more red color it is, the higher capture weight it will be. Purple means 0. Of course, you can change the visualize mode from infrared red to, say, for example, grayscale. Right? Then it's more clear that when it's black means capture weight is 0. But I sometimes like to use this infrared. Okay. And now you can go to the brush. And all right. So basically, currently we are looking at the deforming geometry. All right. Of course, you can paint here. You can also paint it at here, which is the default pose here. Okay. Of course, for this task, I can do it here. And for other situation, you might want to look at the end result and try to use this tool to fix the capture weight issues. All right. Okay, for this one, I will just come here and I can turn on the symmetry, then make it reflective along the x-axis. So 1, 0, 0. All right. And then you can use Control Shift and left mouse button to drag to change the size of the brush, like something like this. And also, when you right click, you can specify what will be the left mouse operation, middle mouse operation. Okay, so currently left mouse button is by default paint, and middle mouse button will be reduce. Okay, yeah, so I will just leave it like so. Then we will start to paint. Wait for it. Okay, basically here the idea is to paint the area that shouldn't be deforming, red color. Okay, so they will be following the head joint exactly. Okay, even the skin in the mouth here should be all red. The nose, the ear, the area behind the ear. Okay, yeah, and you can right click, change the left mouse button to be smooth final. Then now you can actually smooth out the results because you don't want something like very harsh transition going on. And now if you look at the end result, this will be much better. All right, this would be, even though it's not perfect, but it should be much better now, because if you look at the rotation of the head, Yeah, it's much more decent than before. Okay, and you may ask how to paint, say how to paint the left arm skin weight, capture weight, and mirror to the other side. Actually, you have a note for that. This is called mirror, capture mirror. Okay, capture mirror. But here, because this is just a basic intro to this human rig assets, I will now go through how to deal the skin weight issues when the arm is bending and so on. Okay, so basically this is the fundamental of how to use human rig with this human rig embedded digital assets and some supporting digital assets. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.